All right, so I don't get into a lot of social stuff with you guys, and anybody that watches me knows that I don't get into a lot of social stuff. I don't follow a lot of American culture, and I certainly don't follow hip hop. But Kanye, I guess, getting in bed with Trump and trying to split votes Republican Party. I'm hearing now he's facing election fraud charges. So hope that goes forward. This needs to be said. I guess Kanye's and he's out speaking about Jay Z. He misses his boy and all that, and we know Jay Z's not down with the Trump virus. That's proven. You can look that up. I'm done with that. So Kanye, you know what hit me is he's still packing out concerts with his mentally unstable behavior. I think he done a video. It was a thing he did, a Yeezy tour, where he was on stage for like 20 minutes somewhere talking about Jay-Z and all this kind of stuff, and don't come at me, bro. I know you got killers and all this stuff. And I mean, I know he has church service. I know a lot of people still support him. I'm not talking about your black people who want to be conservative. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about just average people who aren't political. He can still probably pack concerts and stuff like that. He can probably still move a crowd, even acting crazy as he does. And I thought about how Kanye is really a sign of a profoundly sick society. Like when Britney Spears got back into music and she shaved her head, and I was talking about it and stuff. Like, the fact that we spend so much time on these individuals who, like, it's proven they're sick in the head and they can still go make $1 million like that. That, you know what I mean? Like that. I think that says more about society than Trump and everything else. It does. And I don't want to speak too much about Kanye because he's just not worth it. Okay? So I don't speak about him very often. Candace Owens, the rest of them, the coons. It's the coons, man. These are the rats and the roaches and the spiders that crawl up underneath the couch. That when it's time to clean up, underneath the refrigerators, roaches and stuff. These are those kind of people. Scum. They're trash. Riding on Trump's coattails. The trash and the scum he's drug in. I've said it before. That Candace Owens wants to be part of the political class. She wants a place there. Trump has brought America to this very racially charged place. I've talked about when he was talking about, oh, well, they're opening real liquor stores. Why aren't they opening churches? Guys, in a lot of places in the South, the same place they sell liquor, they also sell food. These, like those real small towns in Alabama and stuff, that's what happens. So, like the little country stores and all that, that may be the only store in the area. Those little small, yeah. So them reopening liquor stores is not like me going to the ABC store over there by the student. They got this student housing over there. Like, that's not the same thing as when you're living in Alabama, the bottom of stuff like that. But I know what you're doing. You're trying to start up this culture war of, well, if we can have churches, why can't we have liquor store? Why can't we have churches? And then when someone questions you on it, well, I knew you wouldn't like that. I knew you didn't. What? So this is culture war stuff. This is what Trump uses, and when you use stuff like that, you radicalize the discussion, which is what Trump does. It's all about radicalizing the political discourse. That's the whole agenda. And when you do that, you bring up radicals like Candace Owens. You bring them to the forefront because that's all your politics is about. Your politics isn't about, well, how do we deal with climate change? What policies can we put forward to help the generations 20 years from now? Moving on. So, evidently Putin is alleging they have a vaccine for coronavirus. And I should have started with this. It just hit me. Like, it really hit me that we're in the middle of a pandemic. We've got a president that is doing everything he can to ignore it, to say go back to regular living, reopen the country, nothing's happening, nothing's going on. I mean, they already told you that when they put their vaccine out, it may not be affordable in America. I said that they had discussions about that back in like either April or May. I watched some of it, and they were like, we may not be affordable. It's just funny that ever since like the bubonic plague and the Black Death and all that, every pandemic exposes like what a society really is. It does. Like, these pandemics really expose for you like what America really is, how these countries operate, that you're not dealing with a fair and just society based off of what you see. Look, we are in the middle of a pandemic, and we are independently fighting for a cure. Or I hope America's working on a cure. I don't know, sometimes I wonder. But like, we're not working together in common cause for a cure to this pandemic. I mean, Europe has a fund of money to where when the vaccine comes out, they can just buy a bunch of this shit and just start making it. That's what Europe's doing. They're putting their money together. What's America doing? Pulling out of WHO, threatening the International Criminal Court. I mean, that's where America's at. I try not to think about this too much because it doesn't help us. Trump operates off of optics. And that's why he was putting all the onus on the states to deal with the pandemic. How can states handle a pandemic when you have certain states, Louisiana, that was basically doing nothing? They were holding church services of 1,000 people in the beginning of this pandemic. How can a state next to that do anything about that? That makes no sense. But you want the states to deal with the pandemic. Like, the framework was never, like, you won't find any frameworks where they say, well, the states will handle the pandemic. What? We know that way if it worked out, then Trump could say, see, I was right, see? And if it wasn't, Trump could just come in and say today and say, oh, see, you guys need me. And he can push political stuff with it. That's what this is all about. So, the fact that now Russia has beat us to the vaccine, a couple of things that comes to mind. First of all, Trump can't say anything because the states are having hot spots everywhere. ICUs are bursting at the seams. Hospitals are all fucked up. So that was a failure. He thought that this would hit the blue states, and instead, the red states are hurting. South Carolina, Florida, Texas, Arizona. It's a bunch of more states. Okay? California. Yeah. So that was that fucked up right there. Nationalism. That we don't need Europe. We don't need the world. We'll do on our own. Didn't work, bro. Now a foreign country beat you to the vaccine. America first, right? When dealing with a pandemic, there is no country first. We're all facing a worldwide pandemic that is deadly. And now I'm hearing about it causing mental illness in kids. Look, I'm just going to say this, and I hate this seem so dark and just dismal, my videos, but I hope Russia charges America $5 million a fucking vial for the vaccine. Just like I said about them Green Berets getting caught with that, trying to do a revolution in Venezuela. I mean, I hope they fucking rape America behind this and say, look, we'll sell it to you. It costs you about $6 million, $5 million. You don't want it? Okay. I mean, you're dealing with an isolated, punctified, radicalized America that's on like you're dealing with America's like on PCP, running around with no clothes on, going crazy, and the rest of the world's like, dude, what are you doing? We're facing an emergency, and America's just like crazy. The rest of the world's like, what the like America's like Nebuchadnezzar in the Bible, running around like an animal with no clothes on, and the rest of the world's like, what the fuck? Like, do you see this shit? Like that's what America is. That's what America is. Yeah. Look, I don't know if Russia's cut corners in this. They could handle it out for free. I wouldn't take it. But it's just like when Russia took out ISIS. And I was like, where is Trump? Where is NATO? It's the same thing. I'm not trying to lionize Putin. But I am trying to say that there's a world construct here. And that to solve these issues, to solve the problems of the day, we've got to work together in a constructive fashion. Trump's not doing that. In fact, he's engaging in politics and he's engaging in rhetoric that simply isolates us and at best gets us nowhere. Peace.